Welcome back. We did it. We convinced Caitlin to join us. This was no small feat. Caitlin Quinones is a 7th grader at the Parker Charter School. She started her youth venture when she was in school in Shirley. Caitlin, thank you.
Thanks.
7th grader. Tell us about your fabulous youth venture.
Well, it all started when we were cleaning out the prop closet for the Shirley Arts for All, where we keep all our play props. And we were talking about how it was feel bad if somebody couldn't be able to do the play if they wanted to. And that's when I noticed that not all people can afford the entry fee for our plays and productions. And so me and a bunch of friends decided to start selling hot dogs for this. We didn't even know what it was going to be. We just wanted to be able to help our community so that people could join the plays and be able to do it. And then Mrs. Lyons told us that we could join something called Youth Venture. We had no idea what it was, so we were just stepping in blindly. And we were able to help our community by giving people scholarships and ticket discounts for the plays and productions.
So people who wouldn't have been able to come and see the productions could now come and enjoy them.
Yes.
How do you feel about doing this? I mean, now that you've done it, you've succeeded. I love hot dogs, by the way. I should say that's another asset. How do you feel about what you did, Caitlin?
I was nervous at first, but now I'm extremely excited because I'm going to start another youth venture so that not everyone can still do the plays, but it's because they're too old and we only have like so much room and you can be only certain ages to do the plays. So we're deciding to starting a teen drama group so that we can all do it. And we don't have an adult director or adult doing the lights. It's kids doing the lights and sound checks and everything.
Are you a typical kid? I mean, I'm serious. I mean, it's the same kind of thing I asked your buddy over here. Do most kids want to help their neighbors and their fellow students like you do? Or are you, in a minority? What do you think?
It depends on who you talk to. I think it's pretty evened out with people who sometimes don't exactly care what's happening around them and those who notice things and want to help.
And I think that also you look at people who you set an example for them and they do something about it. For instance, with these kids that I was working with, they were in one of the lowest testing schools in the country, 3rd, 4th, 5th graders. And they would never in their wildest dreams have thought of helping another student with their work. But after they saw us come into the classroom and build these relationships, by the end they had 5th graders helping 3rd graders, 4th graders helping 2nd graders, and they were inspired and they did it. And they weren't these overachieving kids. They were in a struggling school. They didn't have a lot of support. But they started to see this problem, and they saw that they could do something, and then they did it.
When you heard about this idea, this first idea that these kids had, what do you do? What's the function to help them get from idea to reality? What do you do?
We start filling out an application, and the first thing that we ask ourselves is, how does this give back to the community? And then the kids go through and talk about how they think it's going to benefit things.
It's unbelievable. Speaking of giving back to the community and speaking of teenagers, Becky wrote and said there was recently a tragedy in her community, a death of a 17-year-old. Many of the friends of the kid who died come to her house, need a place just to be, to talk to each other. They've started this casual lunch cafe on her deck once a week to have kids get together, catch up, continue the healing. They make a donation for the food and something left over for a memorial scholarship for the young woman who died. She wants to be an adult presence, have the students do the work and planning. And I guess the question is for you, would this be something your organization might be helpful with, or are your projects more of a global nature, Becky asks?
Yeah, well, I definitely think this is something with potential because what they're looking at is helping people who are grieving. And that's the problem, having a place to grieve. And so this could become something where they set up a center for people who are grieving with many different things over time, or helping specifically with the scholarship fund. I mean, that's something that's lasting, and that's definitely venture potential. But youth venture is definitely not just a global piece. It's essentially several people working locally all around the world and then panning out and seeing this collective of empowered people who are creating change. It's really that idea of think globally, act locally.
Hey Caitlin, back to you. The kids you helped, not you and your friends who put together this venture and worked with Kathryn, Lyon. How did the kids who were helped, who were able to participate in the plays and go to the plays, who might not have been able to afford it otherwise, how did they react when they saw that kids were helping kids like you were doing?
We don't exactly know because it's more of a private thing. We don't get names for who needs the scholarships. We just get how much scholarship money we need. So we don't know who we've helped or anything. We just know that we've helped people.
How has this changed you, if at all? I understand that you kind of look at things a little differently, or you might tackle a problem differently now.
Well, I used to not, I didn't even know that people couldn't do the plays. I just thought they didn't want to do the plays. But when this was brought up, I was thinking, so now when I look at something, I can see a problem in it, and I realize that not everything's picture perfect. There's always something wrong with something, and if we all are able to fix just one little thing, we can fix the whole world.
Oh,
is that what it's all about? Oh,
you can't sum it up any better
this is
than
unbelievable.
Kyle, you've got competition
I've got
here.
goosebumps.
When I was in 7th grade, I wasn't allowed to have the key to my house by my parents. Let me tell you, this is unbelievable.
You must be very proud.
Oh, incredibly proud.
Oh, boy,
I've learned so much
boy.
from them.
So, Kyle, are you going to miss the laying on the couch and eating potato chips and playing with your video game when you head off on your trip Friday?
I do that all the time. You know, it's going to be definitely missed.
What are your plans, by the way, post 11 countries, post this round of hopefully greater exposure for Youth Venture? What do you plan to do? What do you plan to do with yourself?
Well, we get back to the U.S. in August, and then in September I'll be speaking at colleges and universities about the trip. And then I'm hopefully looking to go to graduate school after that at the London School of Economics in international political communication, about movement building, empowering young people, engaging young people. So that's sort of where I'm leading.
But staying Youth Venture connected, or just moving beyond?
Absolutely. I hope to be connected with YV for the rest of my life. So it's such an incredible
organization. You're going to be the rock
organization.
star. You're going to be on T-shirts. I'm telling you. We're going to take another break, and we'll be right back.
Just a minute left with these three remarkable people, starting with you, Kathryn. What do you want people to take home from this hour today?
There are many ways to make a difference in your community.
Fair enough. How about you, Caitlin?
That it doesn't matter how old you are, you can always change your community somehow.
Top that, Kyle.
that what Youth Venture is about is empowering young people to build a global movement of socially responsible citizens and create a world where everyone is able to dream it and do it.
Website one more time if people want to connect.
www.genv.net.
And they can follow your travels in 11 countries. They can join the operation, set up a venture,
watch
whatever.
Watch the episode, see the pictures, the whole
Dream
9
It,
yards.
Do It tour
It's
kicks off on Friday. What's your first stop?
Argentina.
Argentina.
So yeah, which is great because they're very established. And I'm going to be going through the whole north of the country, meeting with these empowered young people, and great kickoff.
Just a couple of quick seconds. How are we doing in New England with this? Is this throughout? We talked about Shirley. Is this have a presence throughout New England for people watching the show?
Yeah, especially in North Middlesex County, we've got a wonderful program going, and we're expanding greatly. 300
teams in New England.
But even if there's not an established program in your area, that doesn't stop you.
Doesn't stop you. Go online, genv.net, find out all the info.
Unbelievable. It's all for today. Our thanks to our guests Kyle Taylor, Kathryn Lyon, and Caitlin Quinones. You were unbelievable.